Across the continents, the aviation industry continues to be absolutely rocked by the pandemic. Airlines have been forced to suspend flights, planes have been grounded, and passenger activity has been at an all time low. However, despite the dire situation, aircraft still need to be ferried to the rightful operator. Essentially, Jet Test and Transport is a third party flight operations company. For over 2 decades, it has been a world leader in this scene. It specializes in the delivery and return of all variants of transport aircraft. It also has expertise in in flight tests for the acceptance of aircraft, certification of systems, and modifications. Its customers are primarily aircraft lessors. An aircraft has a variety of delivery and return conditions. In some case, the airline is responsible for returning the plane or transporting it at the start of the lease. However, if the lessor's responsibility in other situation, and that's where Jet Test and Transport comes in. The implications of the pandemic have challenged the company well beyond where it has ever been before. The most significant complexity is that many countries have completely different rules. There are places that Jet Test and Transport used to head to frequently, like Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore, due to the maintenance facilities there and their convenient global positioning. However, after several South Asian countries have a policy where they've cancelled all visas or cancelled their visa on arrival programs, they were forbidden to do so. Jet Test and Transport has had to be imaginative as a result of these new policies. It decided to hire local crews to transfer an aircraft to a destination where its own staff can take over. It has also had to charter jets in specific cases. As a result of the conditions, there are times where management is left pondering on how they can execute a certain job amid the countless restrictions and measures across the globe. Notably, jobs that require stints in China have been extra complicated for the carrier. Overall, post coronavirus, China has become nearly impossible to do business in from a logistical standpoint for the firm. At the end of last year, Jet Test facilitated two 737-300 freighters going from YTO Cargo Airlines to the Democratic Republic of Congo's Serve Air Cargo. The planes were Chinese registered and local contractors were hired to deregister them. Jet Test had the task of moving them from China to Kinshasa. This move would normally be similar to its everyday operations, but not in the present scenario. There were unique and significant roadblocks along the way. The company used a Chinese citizen as a first officer. However, he was denied boarding in Phnom Penh before the team got there. Therefore, the firm picked him up and dropped him off in the Maldives, where Jet Test was going to do a fuel stop before continuing to Africa. Yet, the officer was also denied boarding in the Maldives, which meant that another solution was needed. In total, it took 10 days for the first officer to leave Maldives. Jet Test and Transport bought him a ticket to Turkey, then another one to Frankfurt. He had to do a PCR test in the airport terminal in Frankfurt to stay at the airport hotel and then fly to China on the way home. Altogether, he was on payroll for 26 days. These stories highlight the unprecedented challenges that those within the aviation industry face. Tasks that have largely been seamless for experts in the business now have numerous complications amid the ever-changing requirements. Nonetheless, the show must go on and aircraft need to be ferried to where required. Therefore, despite overwhelming circumstances, Jet Test and Transport continues to deliver. That's all for today. Thanks for watching and be sure to subscribe to this channel.